Hi, everybody. June here from Red Daisy Crafts. So happy to be here today. It is October 12th, and we have another fun day with Fall for Toile and alternate projects. So I'm excited to share some inspiration with you today. But I did want to tell you about just a couple of announcements. Since the 12th, we are in a new subscription period for the November paper pumpkin, which is called Wrapped in Cheer. And this paper pumpkin has, I don't know if you can see it right there, but it has 8 projects. It's going to have 8 of the same project box and some really cute tags that are going to go with it. And so there's going to be 2 designs, 4 of each. And so that's going to be really great for any type of little gifts that you might want to give this holiday season. So whether or not it is a gift card or just a little treat that you want to give to your mailman, or any person that you might run into over the holidays that needs a little bump of cheer, it's a great way to pass that on. The ink spot that's going to be in the November kit is Old Olive, and the other coordinating colors are going to be Basic Beige, Mossy Meadow, and Cherry Cobbler. So really great jewel tones for this little project box. So I'm excited for that. I also wanted to let you know that I'm hosting a class. It's going to be a craft along, and we're going to be using the Christmas greetings cards and envelopes with the Christmas tags and more DSP, and the greetings for you ephemera pack. So there is no stamping in this class. It's going to be a Zoom event, and there's a link in my description below for you to find out more information if you would like to do that. This is going to be held on November 8th. And you have 2 options to make 10 Christmas cards, or you can make 20 Christmas cards. So you have 2 options there. And so then I also wanted to just tell you, like with my Paper Pumpkin subscribers, so if you are new to Paper Pumpkin, I send each month to my subscribers a little envelope to keep their stamps in, a little clear envelope, and then I include a label because the paper here that comes in the kit does have a label on it, but it doesn't say what month it was for. And the stamps themselves are just on some clear acetate. And so I provide a label for the envelope. And then also I include a little square that is the color of the ink spot. And it goes, I was just going to put mine on and show you how I do mine. I just put it on the bottom of my ink spot because the best way to store your ink spots are upside down. And this way you can see the color without having to turn it over. And so I have started to include a little square that has the name of the ink spot for the month. And I just put it right in the bottom of my square like that. And so now whenever I store them, you have an easy way to find your ink. All right, so that is what you get from me whenever you subscribe with me each month. And then, of course, I'd love to send some goodies in the mail whenever I send my things. So you always get a little happy mail from me. So let's jump in and kind of recap what we've been doing the last few weeks. So you have seen the cards that the kit was designed to create. They are beautiful on their own, whether or not you decide to create alternates or not. They're just so fun. I have really enjoyed this kit because we have so many beautiful coordinating products this time. And so we have made some additional alternate projects, which you can find in my group or on my YouTube channel on the past ones. So this was one that we made, and then this one as well. And we brought in some of those fabulous products that coordinate. And then we also made this one. Very fun. We're using some of the dies that are in the quarterly die set that goes with the paper pumpkin. And then the next week, we made a couple of additional cards. And these were a bit of a fun fold. We made this last week here. And then this one kind of flips out like so and opens up. And then this just tucks right back in there like that. So we have made some really fun cards. And so this week I've got a few more for us to play around with. So let's just dig in. So I'm trying to use all of my pieces from the kit that I opened. I've only opened one. Usually I open two, and this time I've only opened one. So I'm kind of excited for the challenge. And but we're down to the little bits left. And so we're going to see what we can make with that this week. And then we'll also bring in some of the fun coordinating products as well. So I am going to go ahead and put us down to the table and get myself out of the way. And so here we go. Let me see if I can switch this. Oh, I can never get that out of the way. I need a bigger table. All right, so what we have here are some of the elements from the kit. So I have a couple of the circle labels. I have the beautiful leaves dies. I have some of the fun early espresso foil leaves that were in the kit. I have a little piece of early espresso here as well that I think we're going to use. And then I've taken some pieces. So we're going to start out with the card base that is like the tweed. And what I have done is I have folded the sides in. And basically that means we have 2 1/8. You could put a score mark at 2 1/8 on each side of the card base. But it's going to open up like that. Okay. Hey, Wanda, thanks for joining. It's great to have you here. Happy Columbus Day. Yes. Oh, is today Thanksgiving? Or is it this week? I didn't think it was today. I think it's later this week. Is that right? It comes up so quick on me for my little Canadian friends that I know celebrate it earlier. You're going to have to let me know. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. Please leave me a note. Let me know where you're joining from. We are just jumping into our first card. Then I also took the other card base that was in it's tomorrow. Okay. I don't know. Ours is always on a Thursday, so I just assumed I should not do that. So I took the other card base and made some cuts to incorporate with this. And so I have one that is going to be going inside the card. It's going to just be a layer on the inside of the card. And then this piece is from an envelope. And I'll tell you the measurements. I just kind of want to go over this first. So this will go on the inside like that. And then on the outside, I also took some of those pieces and cut to fit here and here. Okay. And then I'm using some of the DSP and I cannot remember the name of this one. It is Gathering Together is the name of it. And there were several different designs that are the leaves and things. And this one is the one that has basically the Cajun craze, the early espresso, and well, I'm going to guess just some daffodil delight and some other colors there. Let me see if I can tell you for sure. So, oh, it's crushed curry. I should have known that. It's crushed curry. And so we're going to take just a piece of that and it's going to layer on the outside of here. It might seem a little bit busy, but it's just all the layering that makes this so great. All right. And then when we go on the inside here, I'm also going to add some of this DSP on the inside right there. So that's going to be how we get started. And then we're going to layer some of these other items on top. So let's go ahead and start to put together this much of the card. So I have a piece of the card base that is the pecan pie, and it is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I took a piece of one of the envelopes that I had cut the flap off of, and this piece is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And that is just going to get layered on top of here so that you have a place to write a sentiment. So let's just go ahead and put that down first and get our inside layer ready to go. So I'm just going to move these out of the way. Use our little bone folder here to just mash down any lumps of glue that we might have behind there. You'd think it would smooth out on its own, but it doesn't. So we are now going to just add this piece on the inside of our card here. And so that is how it's going to open. You're going to open up to that. So you can see that beautiful toile paper behind there. And so also on the inside, we're going to add the DSP. And I just wanted to kind of lay it down, make sure I like the order of it. I do. So, okay. So we're going to add that on the inside right here. And I'll put this around here. And it's going to have just a little bit of a border around it. Maybe about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. All right. And then the same thing on this side. And you don't really need a lot of glue. I think I always end up with too much. But I do like to make sure that things are adhered down well. I just always worry about things falling apart when I ship them. So that DSP is so pretty, isn't it? All right, so that's the inside of the card. Now, I should have done this beforehand, but I am still going to stamp in here. And so where is my foam mat? I have it right here. So I am going to just get my foam mat here. So I wanted to add the birds on the inside of here. So I'm just going to ink up the birds right here. And I always have to think about what I'm doing here. So we're just going to add them right up there like so. And then I need to get my pumpkins out of the way. I'm going to add the little acorns down in the corner. And we're just going to add them right here. Now that just gives that a little bit of interest for the inside of the card base. Okay. All right. So we are going to want to stamp a sentiment on here. And I'm going to use that big message that was in the stamp set. It's wishing you the happiest of days. It's such a beautiful font, and it's really attractive. So let's just add that right here, like so. Perfect. So I think that's all the stamping we have on this one. So let's go ahead and start to put our pieces together. So I want to make sure that we put our 12 pieces down going in the right direction. They are very busy and it could seem very easy to put them on upside down. So just want to make sure we get them on straight. And then we'll add the other decorative DSP piece. I love it because it has a little bit of foiling in it. And I just think it adds so much. Scoot that down just a tad. All right, so there's that. Okay, so now that's what we have on the outside, right? We're going to open it up. There you go. So I wanted to go ahead and bring in some of that designer element. And I'm thinking we might just put it all the way to the edge, or maybe leave about 1/8 of an inch there on the toile border. I think maybe we'll just leave a little tiny edge, like about 1/8 of an inch, on that piece right there. So I'm just going to lay these down right there and make sure we got it on straight like that. And then we're going to add this one as well. So Wanda, if tomorrow's Thanksgiving, what are you making dinner? Are you going, is someone cooking for you? Or does everybody come to your place? We, I think, are going to be eating out at a restaurant this year. I don't think we've ever done that before, but I don't think anybody wants to cook. And so I think that's the plan. Okay, so that's right now what we got. I love it. All right, so now we're going to use this piece here. And so it fits so nicely right in the middle of there. I was going to do it this way. I don't think I still am. We're still going to put it on this way. All right. So I'm just going to make sure that we get this on here evenly. So I need my glue to be over here. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this piece down so that we get it in the right space. And then we'll add all the layers on top. And so there we go. I think that is right in the center. And this piece here, I haven't been good about telling you the measurements. So the panels of the pecan pie, those were 1 7/8 of an inch by 5 1/4. So you had 2 of those, okay? Then the little DSP pieces were 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4, and you had 2 of those, all right? And then this piece here is 3 3/8 by 2 1/8. All right, so the rest of the pieces here will be layered on. So we have our leaves. I have some of these beautiful die cuts. I only have 2 left, and so I did go back to my little die cutting machine and create some additional dies here. And so I went ahead and made one more from that beautiful like early espresso foil, just to kind of bring that in. And I think that's the one that I'm going to use primarily. Now, I also did one in the same toile, thinking that it might be nice to tie that in. And then I have some smaller leaves that I thought would be great to bring in as well. So we're going to go ahead and scoot these aside, and we're going to see what we come up with. So we are going to, this is going to go on top once we get all of our pieces on. But we're going to start out, I think, with this beautiful leaf element, and we're going to kind of put those on the top and the bottom like that, and that's what's going to bring all this together. So we're going to put those on like so, and trying to see how we can make sure that we have things kind of aligned properly so that there we go. All right, so I think that's going to go like that. And then, of course, we're going to have this coming in here. I think I want these more layered. Like that, I think. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put these down, and I'm just going to use a little bit of glue to do this. And we're going to have that one there. And then this one's going to get layered on top of that one just a tad. And we're going to have this one right here like that. All right. Now, I do think I want to sneak some of these guys in. I just have to make sure that they are not hanging out too far. So I think I'm going to put one on that side. So we'll put that in right here, like so, like that, right? And then we'll use the other one and we'll stick on this side. Right under here. Let's see, where can we get that in? I think right there. So that's what we have so far. And then that opens up like that. And what a gorgeous, it's going to be gorgeous front. All right, so I also want to bring in a little bit of the early espresso linen thread to make a kind of a big floppy bow underneath to tuck in. So I'm just going to uncurl some of this, and then I'm going to double it, and we're going to make a good floppy bow here. And then I'm going to trim this off like that. All right, so we're going to have that. That's going to go right on here. I think about right there. So we're going to wait to tack that down, but that's where I think we're going to go with it. Oh, thank you, Wanda. Oh, so you're having dinner at your daughter's and son-in-law's. Oh, that sounds nice. Oh, and you do everything together. I love it. I love that. Um, yeah, I miss my mom's. Both both moms. They did so much cooking, and I just don't do that so much anymore. But I enjoyed doing it with them. Very fun. All right, so this is going to go right in here. And we are going to put this on dimensionals. So let's go ahead and let me get my dimensionals out here. And we're going to put some on here. And we're going to go ahead and put this down so that we can tuck everything in around it. So let's go ahead and see here. It's going to go right here like so, because then I think we can just tuck our little floppy bow in right there. So let me get a glue dot out for that. And let's see here. So I'm just going to have that go right there. Oh, I love it. Perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and tuck that away. Now let's see here. We can add in some of these other elements. So we can bring in that one that kind of ties it together with all the pieces. I think we'll put these on top of each other before I put them down. So let me go ahead and just add a little bit of glue right down here. And we'll anchor these together like so. And then we'll put some glue on the back of here and tuck it in. So I'll put them right in here like that, and just making sure I get that tack down. So we have that now. All right, so now I feel like I have my element of 3 going on, and they're kind of in a triangle. All right, so then we just have some little leaves that we're going to put in as well. And we're just going to kind of put them right up here with these other ones. So we have the Timid Tiger that we are using. Got a little bit of Old Olive here, which there's no green in any of this, but I think it'd be nice just to have the one little piece showing off, because it is such a coordinating color. So it's just going to be just kind of hidden right there. See how it is? Just right there, all by itself. And I think that is what we have. Now, I want to get some of those gorgeous gems we had the other week and just put a couple on. These are the streaked dots, and they are kind of look a little bit like a tiger's eye to me. And we're just going to add a couple of them on here. So we're going to put one right there. And we'll put another one right up there. And we'll take a bigger one and add it right out here like that. And we'll move that back out of the way. So that is this card right here. I just think this came out so nice, using up the pieces, bringing in some of the DSP. Really, really pretty and fun to send, right? And no, you can still should be able to send this with one stamp. This is kind of a bigger gem. I don't know. Sometimes I put something in my envelope to kind of protect that. So that is card 1. All right. So let's move on to our next one. And again, just trying to use up pieces that I had left over. So I got the little fox and oh, thank you, Jaylene. I appreciate that. Glad you like it. Thanks for joining today. All right, so I grabbed another piece of DSP from that pack, and I liked this little plaid. It kind of reminded me of all the colors that are in this little scenery right here. And then I'm bringing in the other card base that is like the little linen. So we're going to go ahead and just fold this down right here. And I saw, I think it was Rachel Tessman that had done on here a little bit of coloring. And I thought, oh, what a great idea. So we're not going to go too crazy, but I was going to just bring in a couple of things right here to see if we can just maybe add to this just a tad. So I am going to come in with the crumb cake, and we're going to just go over the fence posts just to maybe darken them a little bit compared to the way that they are. But I thought this was such a fun idea that I had to give it a go. So we're just going to, I guess I would say the best compliment is when someone follows in your footsteps. So that's what we're doing. So now I have the darker crumb cake, and I'm just kind of going over the lines that were on the fence where I just colored. And then we'll come back in with the light crumb cake again, just to blend all that together. And I like that it just kind of changed up the image here, just maybe darkened it a bit, which with the other DSP I think is a nice kind of change. So we have that there. Now I had thought about bringing in, because I thought it would be okay, but I'm not going to, I don't think, I guess we could do a few of these leaves with the green on this end down here. So I'm just bringing that in ever so slightly on the ones that are not colored already. Okay. As you know, like the corns, they are green before they turn yellow. So we're just going to have a few out here that will bring in a little bit of that coloring, and no big heavy deal going on. But I noticed that this one, a lot of it's not colored, so we'll just bring that in there. And then we have a little bit over here as well. So just another way to bring in a little bit of additional color. Into that scene. So you don't really even notice it. It's so subtle. And I'm not going to bring in any of the darker ones because I don't want to take away from it, but it's really pretty subtle there. And I think it's perfect for this. Now I am going to go ahead and do some of the dark crumb cake down here at the foot on the ground, and then come back in with the lighter crumb cake just to kind of blend this together. And again, like I said, just it's a little bit to darken it. We're not going to do it, but one of the things she had done was she had changed the back of here with it pool party. She had brought in pool party, and she went around the frame with like the Cajun craze, and it was beautiful. If you haven't seen it, you should go take a look at it because it was absolutely gorgeous. But this is just a fun thing that you can do, and I think it just made that a little bit more intense. So with this card right here, I do want to do a couple of the little acorns for the inside of our card. We're going to stamp that. And then I also have a little strip of white that we're probably going to need to trim down. But I wanted to use the word thankful on here. So let's go ahead and do our acorns first on the little circle. And we're going to use this on the inside of our card right there. So just set that aside. And then let's go ahead and do thankful. And then we'll have to trim this piece down so that we just have a little strip. There we go. Perfect. And let me grab my trimmer and we'll just trim this off here. I think that's straight. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this off right here. And so now we have that thankful. Perfect. Get my fingers to work. All right. So we have this card base. That is the linen looking card base from the kit. Okay. And then I had that other piece. I don't know if we're going to use it or not, but I had this DSP that I cut from, and it's a little smaller than the normal. So this is 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And I have 2. They're the exact same size. We're going to tilt this on the card base, and we're going to put that down with glue. And then we're going to do some linen thread again here. So just, I love this because it has the foiling on it, and the colors just are so similar, and it just is so great with this, I think. And so we're going to add that, but first let's do I think we're going to use the old olive thread here. So I'm just going to get some off. I'm not going to cut it yet. I'm not sure how much because I want to wrap it around a couple of times. So we're going to just give myself a pretty good tail, and I'm going to go around twice here, and then let us tie this on this end. There we go. All right. Like so. There we go. Perfect. So just strain that back up a little bit. All right, so then we're going to bring this on, and this one's going to go on also a little bit crooked, kind of going a little bit the opposite direction in a sense. And we're going to add it with some dimensionals. We're not going to put a lot because we are going to add the fox and the pumpkins with dimensionals as well. And I don't want that to interfere with these dimensionals. So let's just see what we have here. So this is going to now go a little bit the opposite direction. like that. There we go. So that you have just a peek of that foiling coming out from behind there. I just think it adds so nice because there's foiling here. It's a different color of foiling. And so I just think it's so great to have that like that. All right. So now we have our little fox that we're going to put on here, as well as our pumpkins. And we're going to add our pumpkins with some dimensionals, but I'm going to grab my little smaller ones here. Just because we don't need a lot here. So we're going to just tack these down right here, right up here. Yep, out of the way of that. And then we're going to have our little fox, and oh goodness, where do I want him? I think I'm going to put him over here. All right, so once again, we're going to use the little dimensionals for him and add him on this side of the card. Right over here. Like that. Okay. And then we're going to add thankful right up here. Now, the last, well, not the last thing. Before we finish, I'm going to put some Wink of Stella on here because I just think it goes so well with this. I'm flipping this around because I want this to kind of be on here straight. So I'm lining it up the edge. So that is kind of the front. And then we're going to add some Wink of Stella, but let's go ahead and do the inside of our card first. So I do want to do, we have to, we're going to use this little piece right here to put on the inside. I think it's plenty of room for a little message. And this is 2 3/4 by 4 inches. And it's going on top of that plaid piece, which I already shared what that measurements were. And we're going to put it in here straight. So let's just get that tacked down in here. Like there. Just has a little bit of a bigger border around it, but still plenty of room for a message. And so let's just do a quick bit. We're going to add the birds up in the corner. I just think that's so cute. And perfect for this scene. I could have added them on the front, but I think this is perfect. And I still think there's plenty of room, so I'm going to add the pumpkins right down here at the very bottom, right there. So like that. And then we're going to just add this right in here. And we're going to glue that down like so. Perfect. Love it. And just all right. So that is the inside of our card, and this is the outside of our card. Now I want to add some Wink of Stella. We're just going to do some little splatters of Wink of Stella on here. So just like to make sure I've got good juice going on. And I'm just going to All right, so I don't know if you can see any of that. There's a few splatters there I can see, but such a cute card. I just love that. And all we do is bring in the little DSP, some linen thread. I use, another part of the card base left over from something else to add to it, and a little piece of basic white to stamp a sentiment, since we were running, I don't have any more of the little flags that were left. All right, I just have one more for you today, and I think it's probably my favorite of all today. Oh, shoot, I forgot. We were going to add this on the inside, but now that I did the pumpkins, I don't know that I need it. So I think we'll just save it. Who knows what else we'll do with it. All right, so I'm bringing in the fun full gold rub-on piece. I think that this is going to be fun. Let me show you the card we are making. So this is the card we're making here. And maybe we'll put our little acorns on the inside of here. But I used the little rub-on back here as part of the scene in the back. Just thought it was perfect for the woods and the trees. And I cut some more little leaves down here. We might do something a little bit different on this one, and keeping it super simple. We have the word thankful again. We do have thanking of you and warm wishes that we could do instead if we want. But I think I'm just sticking to thankful right now. So, oh, thank you, Jaylene. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. All right, so let's just put this over here as a reminder of my plan. Okay, so I have an old olive card base that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. All right, I have for the inside a piece of early espresso and a piece of basic white. So the early espresso piece is 3 3/4 by 5, and then this basic white is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. So let's go ahead and put those down on the inside of our card. Let's see here. So go ahead and put these together, all of our layers. This card was inspired by Stampin' Gala. I just think she has amazing talent for all of her layers, and so this is kind of what prompted all of this here. Is so pretty when you have all the layers. All right, so that's the inside. All right. Now I did pick this piece of the DSP, so it's the other side of that plaid, to be the first layer on the card. So I'm just going to go ahead and tuck that down. With some glue. We don't have any reason to hold out. And everything gets layered on top of here. Okay. And so I am going to just put that aside now. So what I have here is a piece of basic white, and it is 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. And it is going to fit right behind here. Now it doesn't, as you can see, it's a little bit lopsided. I don't know, lopsided is not the right word. It just doesn't go edge to edge. And I didn't need it to. I just wanted it to cover up the open space. Okay. And so before we do that, I want to put the rub-on in the background. So I have my rub-on sheet. And so I'm just going to cut this little tree trunk kind of thing out of the here. And I'm trying not to have everything coming apart. So I'm just cutting it out of the center of here, like so. Because I want all of this to stay together, because you don't want it to be falling apart. Otherwise, the rub-on will come off very easily on something else, and we don't need that. All right, so what we have here is this rub-on piece, and this is what it looks like on the back. Here's the front. And I just literally kind of eyeballed this and put it down right there. Because I know the tree's going to come here and all the things, right? And some of the frame is going to go here. So it's just a little bit of an accent, but you can see I did not rub super hard. And it literally just comes right off. It is so beautiful, this rub-on. I love it. And it's very antique-y looking, if you ask me. I don't know how much you can see that, but it's really has a nice, it leaves a little bit of a texture. So like a little bit of embossed in texture kind of thing. So nice. All right. Then what I did here was I tacked down the top. Okay. And I kind of just put it down right up here at the top, because I wanted I want the bottom to be open just for a little bit while I do the next part. So I want to get this tacked down first. And so I'm just bringing this on here and putting that right there. I want to bring it down just a bit because I can see I've got a little bit of space down here between. I don't want to opening it all. There we go. So that's how that looks. Okay. Then I have a little strip of the DSP with that Cajun Craze print. This is 1 inch by 4 inches. And literally what I did was I like folded it over and I made my own little banner cut out of it. But I did them both at the same time. And so you know how you can make your own banner by cutting up the middle like that and then going corner to tip and corner to tip like that. And so now I have my own banner cut. All right. And then I didn't want to take away from the tree here. And so we're just going to slip it underneath this side. Okay. Like that. And we're going to have it up just maybe like 1/8 of an inch here. So it's out on this side, but under on or on top on this side and on the bottom on the other side. So I hope you can see that there. So I, to get this tacked down, I just added a bit of glue right here like that. And I just wanted to get that tacked down. So now that's in place. All right. And then I flipped it over and we're adding dimensionals. And that's how I'm kind of like tacking down the rest of it. And I'm not gluing anything else down. I'm just using the dimensionals to put the piece down. So we're just adding that in, and that got glued down, so we don't have to worry about that too much. And we're leaving the center, I'm pretty sure I left that pretty empty because we are going to add a few dimensionals behind the tree leaves. Okay. And so we're going to go ahead and put this down onto the card front. So I hope you guys are enjoying these today. I don't know. I'm trying to think. It'll be the 19th. We might have the October kit by the time we are together again. So, or at least I am hopeful. If not, we'll probably continue with this, or I'll do another kit just for the week. There's so many beautiful ones that have come out. There's a new Christmas card one. So what I wanted to do here was help this not be kind of floating, the tree trunk and the leaves here not to be floating. So what I did was I came in and I just added some mini dimensionals to the back of here to offer stability and shadowing. Okay, that's too far out. There we go. Take the little covers off of there. And I think I want one more over here. Like that. All right, then press down. And again, that should not impact your mailing at all of the card, but you can see the layers there. It's kind of nice. You do have a couple of layers, but they're all single because nothing is overlapping. Okay. And so that's that piece there. All right. Now we are going to add the word thankful on here. And I put it over here at the side. So I am going to just put a couple of dimensionals on the back of here. I want to leave room to be able to tuck in some leaves. So I'm using the mini on here. And so that's going to go right here on this side like so. All right. Then I had used ones before. I have some different ones that I cut now, and I have one in the early espresso with the foiling, and we have the garden or the old olive one. So let's see here what we decide. So I'm thinking I'd like to use the old olive and the foil. And then I am thinking this timid tiger one would be good. I think I like that combination. So let's go ahead and add these in. So let's go ahead and put our little foil down. Just going to add that down here like so. And then I'm going to add the old olive one next. I'll add him right here. A little bit going off the other direction like that. And we'll put the timid tiger one in the middle. I like the Timid Tiger one because it matches so well with the Cajun Craze, but it's just a little bit of a different tone. And so adds a little bit more dimension there. I think that's good. So there's our little cluster of leaves, and that's the front of our card, and that's the inside. And here's the other one, so you can see how those look. Very nice. All right, so those are our cards for today. And so we got 3 done today. Yay. So we have that one, and we have this one that we just did. Get that out of the way. And then we have this one, which is so fun. So beautiful. And those are our cards for the day. All right. So thank you. Oh, I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you have any interest in doing some Christmas cards, there's a link in the description where you can join the Zoom class, and that would be great to have you join and get your cards done early. That's going to be on November 8th is when that is planned. So I look forward to seeing who will be joining me for that. And I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you next Sunday with more alternate projects with Paper Pumpkin. Bye, everybody.